Hello again, it's me, Nedu. I'm back from the dead. No, that's not true. I didn't die. I actually have no idea why I said that. But it has been a while since I've recorded a video, so I thought I would record a quick one. Just talk about some of the stuff that's on my mind right now. One of the big things, of course, is E3. Just passed last week. That was pretty exciting for all of us who got to sit at home and watch the videos and cry like little girls when we saw all the interviews and all the trailers and all the conferences and just wish we could be there one day. But yeah, it was really exciting. Um, I just want to talk about a couple of things really quick, just a couple of quick fire things. I would say this E3 was probably one of the most interesting ones that I've seen in a long time. I know it's really easy. Pretty much every year when E3 comes around, the internet goes aflame. Oh, worst E3 ever, worst E3 ever. Oh, so boring. Oh, nothing but neck slicing and guns, and then we end up buying all those damn games anyway. But this one was, I didn't see a lot of that this time because, it's the first new console releases in a long time. And yes, I know the Wii U came out, and I'm not one of those Wii U haters. I actually think the Wii U is pretty cool. But I just want to say a couple quick things about each of, about the big three real quick. Um, let's see. Nintendo, I thought, did a really great job. Granted, they didn't have a conference. They had their, they had their little direct, and they had a behind closed doors, conference thing for the press as well. So they didn't spend nearly as much money on doing a huge, crazy press conference. But apparently, their booth was fantastic. They had like life size, Mario Karts and stuff like that for people to sit in and play their games. But yeah, I thought Nintendo's showing was quite great. They showed some really interesting stuff. I mean, let's see, what do they have? Mario Kart 8. Oh yeah, another Mario Kart. Come on, like, wait a second. They're hover cars and they go upside down. It's pretty much like F Zero a little bit. Mario Kart meets F Zero, which is kind of cool. Plus, Mario Kart in HD looked fantastic. So yeah, let's see. It's really common for people to say that Nintendo should just start making, stop making consoles and just start be a third party designer. But actually, granted, I got this information from Final Bosman, which is a game trailers video, so this isn't my own research, but, from what he was saying, Mario Kart Wii sold more than Halo 1, 2, 3, 4, Reach, and Reach all together. Like, so, considering things like that, Nintendo, and, like, let's also be honest, Nintendo has sitting on a ridiculous war chest of money. They've still got a while before they're in really big trouble. Granted, yes, the Wii U is definitely having some issues for sure, but Nintendo itself, they're fine. Um, Having said that, they've showed some really great games. They showed Super Mario Brothers 3D, Super Mario 3D World, which is kind of sequel kind of idea to Super Mario 3D Land, except this one's actually on consoles. And for the first time in maybe 10 years or so, Peach is playable. I mean, I've been, ever since Super Mario Brothers 2, I think me and a lot of fans have been wanting them to go back to the form where they have Mario, Luigi, Toad, and Peach, and how they all play slightly differently. And then we got new Mario Brothers, where we had four characters who are exactly the same. But now we have this, where Peach has got her floating again. Toad is super fast. Luigi's got his flutter jump, and Mario is the average standard type of character. So that's pretty exciting. Super Smash Brothers, yeah, no big deal. Oh wait, that's right. I'm going to buy the Wii U just for that game. Also, it's coming out on the 3DS. I'm gonna buy that version too. Yeah, I'm crazy. I don't care. The biggest surprise is something that actually Smash Brothers fans have been wanting since Brawl, was the fact that Mega Man is actually going to be a playable character, and he looks awesome. He's got all kinds of his robot master attacks, like the Metal Blade and the Flame Sword slash powers. Like, it looks awesome. Um, of course, that one apparently wasn't playable for the press, but they did have a battle between Mario and Mega Man on display, so it looked pretty cool. Mega Man's animations are actually really great. His normal running animation is literally right out of the old school Mega Man games, and his slide animation and damage animation all look exactly the same too. To the point of, obviously it's a 3D game, but when Mega Man's running and then starts shooting, there's literally no frames between his arm being at his side and his arm being out, just like the old games. So they paid a lot of attention to that. And all the sound effects for his moves are like 8-bit sound effects, so it's pretty freaking sweet. Um, But yeah, like those were at least the biggest things that stuck out to me. Nintendo. I think that Nintendo's doing some really cool stuff. I'm sad that Retro isn't working on the new Zelda. They're making a sequel to Donkey Kong Country Returns, which is good. I mean, Donkey Kong Country Returns is a fantastic game. I really liked it, and there, I guess Dixie Kong's going to be available, which is awesome. And also, there's going to be swimming finally. Back to the underwater levels, which were some of the coolest and most interesting levels in Donkey Kong Country. So that'll be sweet. But yeah, so Nintendo's showing was quite good. They showed the HD Wind Waker as a Link Between Worlds, which is the Link to the Past sequel. So yeah, it's pretty sweet stuff. Of course, Sony and Microsoft. Microsoft was interesting. Actually, Microsoft has some really, really cool games that really cool looking exclusives. Granted, Titanfall was just one of the games that looked the most interesting to me. Is technically not exclusive to Microsoft, to Xbox, but is also going to be available on PC. But yeah, at least as far as we know, it's not going to be on PS4. But that game, pretty much, I think it's being made by some of the guys from Call of Duty. But yeah, essentially, it is looks like a multiplayer shooting game. However, you also get to jump into mechs and use their massive guns and grab guys out of their own mechs and throw them. You can boost out of your own mech, grab onto somebody else's mech, and totally hijack it. It looks freaking sweet. Like, I'd buy an Xbox for that game, to be honest. I guess they also have their game that's being made by the guys who brought us Alan Wake, Quantum Break. I know very little about that game, unfortunately. I haven't really been looking at it myself. I've never actually played Alan Wake, and it's funny because I keep hearing such great things about Alan Wake, but at the same time I hear people saying how bad it is, so the gameplay is. But the story at least sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. But they had some really cool looking exclusives in any case. PlayStation 4 was interesting mostly because the way that they bashed the way that they literally bashed Microsoft right to their faces, saying that we can trade games, you have to check online, all kinds of stuff like that. It was a really targeted attack, which was really interesting. That's something that you see at that I've seen in conferences in years. So that was pretty freaking great. It was kind of ridiculous, but also kind of awesome. Granted, I'm not an Xbox One hater, but Sony saw an opportunity there and they jumped right on it and got a great reaction. They were able to quickly slip in that in most cases you'd have to pay for PlayStation Plus in order to play online, and people barely even noticed because they were so excited about the fact that they were didn't have the same restrictions that Xbox One had. But yeah, they had some pretty sweet games. Granted, the games that I saw at their conference, some of the games that I saw at their conference weren't exclusive, the ones that I was most excited for, but I'll get to that in a moment. But of course, they do have, they always have, PlayStation always has some really good exclusives. One of the ones that looks most interesting to me in any case is, oh geez, what is that game called? Oh yes, Infamous Second Son. Again, I haven't played a lot of Infamous. I've played a lot of the first one. I haven't played the second one quite yet, but I really like it, and I think basically I can just imagine what kind of improvements they can make. Especially, I think they're kind of trying to get away from that comic book cutscene feel and kind of do motion captured cinematics, which will look pretty cool. Because the cinematics, in-game engine cinematics in the first couple games are a little janky, so this one will up the presentation at the very least, and the new powers that this character has look awesome. And then I guess they showed Destiny there. Granted, Destiny's not exclusive. Apparently, it's going to have exclusive content on PS4, whatever that means. I mean, again, content is a great buzzword, but it doesn't really tell us anything. So, I mean, for all we know, it could be like one or two exclusive items. Doesn't matter. Destiny looks really cool. It looks like a cross between Halo, Borderlands, and Mass Effect, which I am totally down with. I say Mass Effect mostly because when you use certain wizard skills look a lot similar to the adept skills that Mass Effect characters have. But yeah, that one looks pretty sweet. Yeah, so any case, I also saw Metal Gear Solid 5, sorry, which was actually the Xbox one, but I'll probably talk about that in another video. But I want to get back to talking about some of the stuff that I saw at the PlayStation conference, which really excited me. Granted, again, this isn't PlayStation exclusive, but it's really the return of Square Enix. During the PlayStation 4 reveal event, Square Enix came up, showed a trailer that was from a year ago, it's a tech demo trailer, not even a gameplay trailer. And then they're like, "Oh, please be excited for E3." And basically, I felt like they were giving the big fuck you to fans, and I was just like, "Screw you, Square! You've pissed me off for so long. Where the hell is my Final Fantasy Verse 13?" Which I've been, which me and many fans have been waiting for since 2006. I was 19 when that game was revealed. That's messed up. But they had some really great trailers. Specifically, they had a trailer for that game, a story trailer, and a gameplay trailer. And that game looks like it's really going to be awesome. They've shifted it to PS4, and now it's called Final Fantasy 15. So they're kind of just rebranding it, which I think is a smart move considering how much development hell that game has been going through. They finally showed a very brief teaser for Kingdom Hearts 3. And yeah, there was one other game I can't quite remember. I know that they're doing a re-release right now of like a relaunch of Final Fantasy 14 as well. So Square Enix showed us some really cool stuff. However, again, not wanting to jump on the bandwagon too quickly. I mean, God knows I really like Square. I've liked them for a long time, but the Square Japan team has been pissing me off for the last little while with some of their releases, some of their choices. And I think Square really needs to, double down on the excitement that they've generated through their trailers at E3 and just deliver. One of the things I feel like they really should try to deliver is at least try and cut down the development time. I mean, it's easy for fans who have no idea what game development is like to say that, but the problem is that, they're lucky that people are still interested in Final Fantasy Verse 13 considering how long it's been in development hell. So really, considering it's, been, thrown around for about 6 years, they really need to try and, make that game actually come out in a timely fashion before people get even more annoyed. Kingdom Hearts 3, let's, again, now that they show Kingdom Hearts 3, I'm hoping that they don't start releasing more Kingdom Hearts games besides the HD collections. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, this is the 10th game in the series, for crying out loud, and it's only number 3 in the main series. They have so many side stories. That story is so convoluted. So I'm not really sure what they could do, at least storyline-wise, to keep people engaged. I mean, I'll keep buying their games because I like the gameplay. Like, the story doesn't make sense to me anymore. But hopefully hopefully they're able to make this game come out in a timely fashion, at least engage new fans and use some of the new properties they acquired, even possibly Star Wars. Sora on the Death Star? Okay, yeah, that would, instant buy for me. Yeah, and as far as Final Fantasy 14 goes, I'm not a huge fan of Final Fantasy 11 or 14, but they have a ridiculously loyal following as far as Final Fantasy 11 goes, and I feel like they really should listen to those fans and try and make this relaunch work. I think they're trying to rebrand it as a new game with the whole Realm Reborn kind of idea. But yeah, having said that, I think Square has a bunch of really good properties on their hands that they just haven't been doing a whole lot with. Specifically, of course, one of my favorites is The World Ends With You, which they re-released actually on iPad and iPhone a while ago. I think they could, and those characters actually showed up with voice acting in Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance. So I think that they can make a sequel to that game and do something really interesting with that. Hell, even if they don't even use the same characters, to at least use that world that fans are still quite invested in. Like, it was a cult hit, and then it sold quite well on iPad and iPhone. So yeah, Square Enix, do something with that, or else. See, I guess this, I was expecting my talk about Square Enix after E3 to be a lot more angry, but it turned out that they actually really impressed me with some of the stuff that they showed. So I'm really hoping that they actually end up doing some really interesting stuff with the properties they have. In any case, that's it for me. Yeah, Square Enix, make me proud. Alright, thanks for watching, as always. Subscribe to my videos, read my blog and stuff. Plugs. Awesome. Alright, take care.